I'd like to try. I'd like to try.
試してみたいという意味ですね。リスニング教材の英語は聞き取れても、ネイティブが普通に話すと聞き取れないという話をよく聞きます。それは話すスピードの問題ではなく、ネイティブが省略した言い方をすることが多いからです。ベーシックな英語を覚えるのは大前提ですが、次のステップとしてネイティブが話す自然な英語に慣れる必要があります。それでは、ネイティブがどういったリズムでどのように発音するかを聞いていきましょう。
I'd like to try a wolf wall.
I'd like to try that machine after all.
I'd like to try something new this time.
I'd like to try to sell something to you.
I'd like to try Porky Pig.
I'd like to try.
But I'd like to try and change that. Okay?
I'd like to try this.
I'd like to try one if I may.
I'd like to try one with a faraway look.
Anyway, I'd like to try it again.
I'd like to try it on.
I'd like to try and live that way.
I just thought I'd like to try something different.
Actually, I think I'd like to try a cappuccino today.
I'd like to try it English style.
Oh no, I'd like to try.
I'd like to try it on.
I'd like to try out for the...
I'd like to try something different.
And besides, I'd like to try this case myself.
I'd like to try it sometime.
The shoes, the black ones with the red sole. I'd like to try them on, please.
I'd like to try something with you, Josh.
I'd like to try Neiman on this.
But first, I'd like to try another bank.
If you'd let me, I'd like to try and help.
I'd like to try something else if I may.
So, before we get started, there's a couple things I'd like to try.
There's something going on out there in the West, and I'd like to try and learn what it is.
I'd like to try.
I'd like to try it.
I'd like to try something a little different this time.
I'd like to try that fly fishing someday.
I want to fit a session in the remaining time because there's a couple of things I'd like to try.
I'd like to try something with you, Josh.
I'd like to try for the shirt.
Well, if you don't mind, Mr. Thorne, I'd like to try and help you find that out.
And I'd like to try to make it work with them.
I'd like to try and understand it if I can.
I'd like to try it.
I'd like to try to help.
So if there's 1 minute that's not too terrible, I'd like to try to enjoy it.
I'd like to try a cappuccino.
If no one objects, I'd like to try sitting tonight.
I'd like to try and be with you.
But I'd like to try.
I'd like to try this thing just once.
I'd like to try.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to try on that dress.
The shoes in the window, the black ones with the red sole. I'd like to try them on, please.
I'd like to try something.
I'd like to try to tell some story that...
Well, I'm not sure, but I'd like to try.
But I'd like to try.
I'd like to try that.
I'd like to try it just one more time, and then we'll call it a day.
But I'd like to try again.
いかがでしたか？自分で発音できるフレーズは確実に聞き取れるので、スムーズに発音できるフレーズを増やしていきましょう。